Come back with me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. ASEAN plummets on recession jitters, dollar pressures. Investing.com, most ASEAN currencies fell sharply against the dollar on Monday as fears of a global recession and rising interest rate in the West weighed heavily in risk-driven assets. China's yuan was among the worst performers for the day, down 0.5% to a new two-year low of 700. The yuan fell despite several measures by the People's Bank of China to curb future losses in the currency. The PBOC said it will raise foreign exchange risk requirements for financial institutions, making it more expensive for traders to short the currency. The central banks also fix a bullish daily midpoint for the yuan. The moves come as a mix of dollar strength, loose monetary policy, and weakening China's economic growth battery the yuan this year. Focus is now on upcoming China's PMI data for September due on Friday from more cues on a potential Chinese economic recovery. The Philippine peso also hit a record low against the dollar while the Thai baht was the worst performers in Southeast Asia with 0.9% drop. The Japanese yen fell past 144 to the dollar, coming back to levels seen before the government intervened in currency markets. Data on Monday showed that while Japanese business activity expanded slightly in September, the economy's outlook remained pressured by high inflation. The dollar index and dollar futures remained pinned at 20-year height, and fears of a global economic recession wrapped up after a batch of weak European economic data last week. The prospect of more interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve also kept the greenback buoyant. Currencies outside Asia also suffered. The British pound sank off a record low, while the euro fell further away from dollar parity. Markets feared that high inflation and rising interest rates will deal a double whammy to global economic growth. ASEAN currencies have fallen sharply this year as rising United States rates and fears of a potential recession have fallen sharply this year as rising United States rates and fears of a potential recession battery high-risk assets. This trend is largely expected to continue for the remainder of the year. British pound at record low, euro plummets as economic outlook dims. Investing.com, the British pound hit a record low on Monday, while the euro fell to a 22-year trough as growing concerns over worsening economic conditions in Europe saw the dollar flush with safe haven traders. The pound fell as much as 5% to a lifetime low, with doubts over the United Kingdom's fiscal stability growing after the country announced extensive tax cuts in the face of a looming recession. United Kingdom Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng last week unveiled the country's biggest package of tax cuts in 50 years to support larger economic growth. But markets were doubtful over the sustainability of such as move, given the country faces slowing growth and thin twin deficits. Data on Friday also showed that United Kingdom business activity shrank in September for a second consecutive month. The Bank of England, which recently hiked interest rates, also warned that the United Kingdom economy may already be in recession. The euro slumped 0.5% to a new 22-year low of a batch of weak Eurozone economic readings last week saw investors pricing in a likely recession in the bloc. Fears of brewing energy crisis and potential escalation in the Russia-Ukraine were also dented sentiment towards the currency. High inflation has been the biggest headwind for United Kingdom and Eurozone economies this year, as both business and consumer spending will under increased prices measures. The Federal Reserve also signaled last week that United States interest rates are set to rise even more further this year, likely ending 20 and 22 at a 60-year height of 4.4%. I think that's all from me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.